Race 5 at Ascot jumps at 2:54. It's the Marjorie Charleston Classic over 1,200 metres for fillies and mares. There's only 5 horses in this field, but it certainly packs a punch. But we'll take a look at the 4 Fabugino from its last start at Ascot.
With another Demon, My Demi correspondent supposition, but the big girl is well clear. Down past the 200, he snuck a look over the right shoulder on Fabugino. She opened up, now she's 4 in front. She's nearly 5 in front with 100 left to go. Running on is My Demi from Night Voyage, but it's been a brilliant return to racing by Fabugino.
The Flying Grey Mare returned with another impressive performance over the 1,000 metres, defeating My Demi by over 4 lengths. And look, that form has been franked. We've often said it quite a few times on the box seat, it's Fabugino form. Well, this is the main attraction, and the only query for me is the 1,200 metres. But based on her sectional data, it does give every indication that she will lap up the 1,200 metres. She maps to find the front. I'm not exactly sure they'll be going as fast as she possibly can early on in this race. But having said that, she should be able to accelerate off the corner and prove difficult to run down. The 3 is my second pick, Electric Light, who returned really well with a personal best performance. It just seemed to tire a fraction late behind Damn Ready, so taking a bit of natural fitness, it should be there and improving for this second up run. Third pick is the 2, Lady Cosmology. It's a galloper I have plenty of time for, but here she finds herself against the older horses. Does map okay from gate 1, but I suspect she might need the run first up against some of these more seasoned and fitter horses. And then fourth pick is the 5, Market Ruler. Almost the same comment there, but there is a small query over Market Ruler over the 1,200. If we go back to her last start over 1,100 metres, we actually saw it was quite an impressive performance, and it did give the indication she could run out 1,200 if the tempo suited. On top for me, it's a cracking race considering there's only 5 horses, is the 4 Fabugino from 3 Electric Light, the 2 Lady Cosmology and 5 Market Ruler. Race 6 at Ascot jumps at 3:30. It's the Amelia Park Wines handicap over 1,200 metres. And for our horse and focus, let's take a look at Speeding Comet last seen at Ascot.
Out. Don't Fuss stalks those just behind them with Raposada, followed on the fence by Slick Salmon, further back Orange Strudel, inside the 200, Atacama Sky races clear, it's Atacama Sky, 2 in front from Don't Fuss, starting to charge, and so is Dawn Mission. Look at Dawn Mission bursting home, it grabs the lead, a big win after being the last out of the gate.
We've seen the same thing with Speeding Comet the last couple of starts. It's settled probably an extra pair or 2 further back, but for this run it draws gate 4 and that puts it right into a perfect spot. Its last 200 metres last start over the 1,000 metres suggested that the 1,200 will be very suitable indeed. And look, just based on the speed map itself, you'd have to have a good each way go at this horse. It looks ready to improve. It's on top for me from the 2, which is King's Authority, which was much better last up. I think the horse just needs a genuine tempo, and it finally found that in that race. It had a little bit of restraint, and it did end up 3 wide without cover, so it certainly has a few extra things in its favour this start from gate 1. Third pick is the 10, Rockefeller, who I was quite keen on for Wednesday's card, but it was scratched and saved for this, which is probably a good indication of the opinion the stable has of the horse. It does have an inside gate, which might end up back in the field with a little bit of difficult space late in the race, but if you can get that clear running, it might be very strong through the line if at its best form. And then fourth pick is a 9, Requisition, who just had no luck at all last start. It had an inside gate. Gate 7 on this occasion looks a lot more suitable, but the horse was bolting last start. It just needed clear running room. It's a really good race to start the quaddie. 1 on top for me, Speeding Comet from 2, King's Authority, 10, Rockefeller and 9, Requisition. Race 7 at Ascot jumps at 4:10. It's the Old Comrade Stakes over the 1,600 metres. It's a listed race, and our horse in focus is Tell 'em We're Coming, last seen at Ascot.
Shapes the leader from Abdicator, Celebrity Dream, Akanar Star trying to wind up in behind them. Variation runs on, threading its way through. Then is Mislecki, and Tell 'em We're Coming is further back. They come to the 150, Abdicator, Akanar Star and Variation, but now Akanar Star reaches the lead. He's going to win another one.
Tell 'em We're Coming was slow away last start and it just flashed home. It was a great last 600 performance and it ran the 3rd fastest last 200 on the card. This race doesn't look like there's a whole heap of speed up front, so I imagine the horse with Willie Pike jumping on board this start from gate 3 should be able to settle itself into a rhythm. It won't be too far back coming around the corner, and if it can get a split at the right time, it should be right there where the whips are cracking. Second pick for me is the 8 Ms. Lecky, whose 3 runs back have all been excellent. Last start, it ran a really good last 600, despite getting a little bit of interference in the straight, but it was very strong through the line. And again, same comment for almost the top-rated horse. If it gets any clear running, it should be there right at the end of the race. Third pick is a 3 Variation, who does get a nice gate here with 2, but I'm just not sure is suited with a slower tempo. I'm expecting the horse to perform a bit better in bigger fields and with more genuine horses up front. And then the fourth pick is the 7 Abdicator, who does get first crack at those leaders, and it should be able to posse up just behind them. If it's at its absolute best, it would be right there in the scheme of things in this sort of race. But it is a very even event, the Old Cumberland Stakes. On top for me is the 5 Tell 'Em We're Coming from 8 Ms. Lecky, 3 Variation, and the 7 Abdicator. That brings us to race 8. It jumps at 4.50. It's the Amelia Park Karrakatta Plate, the 2-year-old Group 2 feature, a race over 1,200 metres. And our horse in focus will take a look at Amelia's On Fire, last seen at Ascot.
Del Mar, and they were followed by Hip Wiggle. Specialism is the leader, tackled by Amelia's On Fire, coming to the 200. Mia Dolce, and now Rio Del Mar, prim and proper Miss West Coast. It's starting to queue up near the inside. On the inside, Rio Del Mar, prim and proper are going to fight it out. On the outside, Rio Del Mar gets the head in front, and Rio Del Mar won the...
On first glance, Amelia's On Fire was a little bit plain last start. It settled in the breeze on a very slowly race, but also tried to tear its head off early in the race. Just wasn't seemingly suited by the slower tempo. From gate 5, Jason Brown has the option of leading on this horse if he wishes, but I'm also expecting a fair bit more tempo. There's quite a few horses drawn out wide that are natural on speed gallopers, so with that in mind, I'm expecting Amelia's On Fire to show us her best form with a bit more tempo in the race. Second pick is the 1 Jericho Missile. Draws pretty perfect for this race. Gate 6 is ideal. The horse itself seems to show its best when it's just either leading or just behind the lead, and I'm not sure if they'll take up one of those first 4 spots in running, but I think it would need to. It doesn't seem to have the greatest turn of foot over the last 200, but it has a very high cruising speed, so with the extra tempo in mind, it should be very strong through the line, and it's the natural favourite as well. Third pick is the 9 Rio Del Mar. Did nothing wrong last start, and again it gets a nice inside gate. It will need a bit of a split late though. There might be a few horses falling back into it if they're tiring late, but its last 400 and 200 was very impressive indeed. And then fourth pick, it was hard to ignore the performance of Nicovi, the 11. It got very far back in the field on a slow tempo. It rattled off the fastest 400 and 200 off the card. And look, if it gets any joy at all from the wide gate, it should be strong again through the line. It just needs that little bit of luck early. It's a cracking race once again. 14 on top for me. Amelia's On Fire from the 1 Jericho Missile, 9 Rio Del Mar, and the 11 Nicovi. That brings us to the last. It's race 9, jumping at 5.30. It's the Valet John McNair handicap over 1,400 metres. And our horse in focus, we'll have a look at Beautiful Mind, last seen at Ascot.
Acquisition. Second last, further back in the field, Frosty Beverage in company with Monash. Don't Fuss hit the front, tackled though by Atacama Sky. Then 2.5 lengths to Beautiful Mind with ground to make. Further back, Requisition. On the inside, Don't Fuss, Atacama Sky. Now Beautiful Mind starts to come at them quickly. Beautiful Mind ranges up in the shadows, dives at them, got there I think right on the line.
Beautiful Mind typically settles on speed, but there was so much speed in last start's performance that it settled 6th on that occasion and was very strong through the line, defeating Don't Fuss. There was plenty of support for that galloper on the day, and it ran the second fastest last 800 and last 600, so it was a mighty performance indeed. It looks to get into a good spot from gate 6, and Dan Stake has been riding in good form for Lindsay Smith. Second pick is the 10, which is Supreme Force. I was really keen on this galloper first up. It had a wide gate. It was restrained back through the field, ended up on the fence, and was given a great ride by Joey Azzopardi to get off the fence at the right time and just rattled home in a big run. If you take any of its last preparation performances, it should be performing at a very high level for this type of race. Third pick is the 3 Caracapo, who you would anticipate will just roll forwards. Jason Brown knows the horse very well. It hasn't raced over the 1,400 metres just yet, but it does give the indication off the last start that it should be quite suitable for this galloper. And then fourth pick is the 1, which is Tonka Tough. This horse has been going great guns so far this preparation. It's in really good form physically, and again it gets a much better gate today from gate 4. It won't have to be as far back in the field for Boy Hill, and if it can get a split at the right time, it can use that turn of foot late. Very good way to finish the card. 12 on top for me, Beautiful Mind, from the 10 Supreme Force, 3 Caracapo and 1 Tonka Tough. Time for best bets. For me, race 2, number 8, Dutch Spy. It should be able to flash home down the outside. And race 6, number 1, Speeding Comet, looks an outstanding each way price. Looking forward to the weekend. It should be a beauty. Thanks for joining me here on the box seat. If you'd like to keep up to date with us at Perth Racing, check out our website or on social media. Until next week, all the best with your punting. Go well.